Welcome, SES 659 students. I'm here with some housekeeping and a few other clarifications for Monday, July 3rd. Happy 4th of July week, everyone. Okay, so I have 7 things on our list for housekeeping. I have them written down in numerical form on your to-do list, but I'll also go through them in person. So I was very pleased to see some of you on the conferences this morning, and I reviewed your questions on the Canvas site. So between seeing some of you on conferences and reading some of your questions, I'm going to provide clarification as I go through these housekeeping notes. So the first point is to complete your school discipline assignments. So that is due on Wednesday. And I've been able to tell most of you, but I do apologize for the group mix-up. Canvas created some groups without me knowing it, and I had already created your Google group. So if any group does need more time to complete the assignment, I completely understand. Just let me know. Again, your groups are posted in Google Doc, and I'll make sure that in the grade book, each group does only upload one video, and I'll make sure that your grades reflect that. Number 2, it sounds like you're all working together on the school discipline assignment because I could see some of the questions and your responses in the discussion board on Canvas, so nice job. Now remember, we're moving from naming, noticing, identifying kind of undergraduate skills to your graduate level skills, which would be more analyzing and evaluating. So if you think of the checklist that some of you have found on the school-wide PBIS website, checking those off, naming and noticing what your school has or does would be very common or typical of undergraduate work. So now let's move that forward just a little bit and now start to summarize and evaluate what's the same or what's different between your plan and those projected by PBIS to be exemplary. If you have any more questions, just let me know or seek out some support from your peers. I know they'd be happy to help. Number 3, I thought your discussion board posts were terrific. You guys have done a great job of including references, supporting your claims with citations, being positive and respectful with your replies, as well as not trying to duplicate your responses too much. I know that can get difficult sometimes in a large group and using the discussion boards to kind of engage in class discussion. So my best advice is early bird gets the worm, so you get to be able to really pick what you want to reply to, and it's your turn to reply if you do it sooner than if you were later. So if you do go later, please try to limit the redundancy and make sure that you're trying to add something new to the discussion. So far I've gone over discussion board number 1, and I've identified for you in writing some really great exemplary discussion board posts as well as replies. So now your charge is just to strengthen that discussion and move it forward with questions, probing each other to challenge each other's thoughts. For example, saying, how do you know this? Why do you believe this? I have read X, Y, and Z before, or in my experience, I've done this, that, or the other before. What are some other thoughts that would challenge this experience? Things like that. Number 4, I saw lots of questions and peer responses again in the discussion board. I will post the quiz right now. It is almost 12:30, and I will post the quiz by midnight tonight, and it is due Wednesday by midnight, which is also when your school-wide or your school discipline plan is due. Let's see, and I have updated the class-wide PBIS assignment. The assignment description and the template was missing. Just the rubric was there, so it is there now. And if you are also reading along this checklist as you're watching this YouTube video, you'll see at the bottom of the checklist you have your overview of today's class. We're getting into class-wide PBIS, identifying it, the essential features, the 5 categories of evidence-based practices, and you'll start to see that overlaps into some of your readings from last week. So If you are skimming at not reading word for word as you read, that's absolutely fine. And now is a chance to go back to some of those readings from last week, skim again, and go more in depth reading some things that you might not have hit last week. Because you do have 3 chapters in your Alberto and Troutman text and 1 chapter in your Bilms text. And I'm going to start to tie the Bilms text more into our work when I do another YouTube video on Thursday. So I'll go ahead, carry on with this checklist. You'll see that I added 1 more article for you to skim on high access strategies. A real great article if you want to keep on your desk along with the Simonson and Myers textbook. And then you have some classroom management videos as well. So no discussion board today. Work on your quiz, your school discipline plan, and read, read, read. Take notes while you read. Last thing is I want to clarify the target behavior assignment. I know it might have seemed a little confusing because why would there be an assignment posted if all you had to do was add 2 or 3 words? But what I've explained to some students is I isolated this scale of identifying a target behavior because it focuses on the positive. It focuses on what behavior we want to teach the students. And so when you start doing your behavior intervention plan, you're going to need to collect data on the undesired behavior, what you want to replace, what you want to go down, and you need to collect data on your target behavior, the desired behavior. So while you're collecting data on those 2 behaviors, you really need to know and understand what those behaviors are in observable, measurable, and specific terms. So I added another PowerPoint to aid you with the Chapter 3, identifying a target behavior, and with this assignment if you need it. Now you should be able to go into Canvas, into your target behavior, and edit as needed. This is not a graded assignment, and I'll also clarify that you are doing a case study for the individual FABA BIP. So again, I isolated the skill of identifying a target behavior because this skill is so critical to not only data collection, but also creating the behavior intervention plan. And so practicing the skill of identifying the target behavior, identifying what you want to teach, rather than just keeping track of everything that's wrong with a behavior and marking down everything that you think needs to be replaced, will help you stay in the focus of teaching the expected behavior. What I talked about in a former YouTube video on discipline. It's teaching the child or teaching the children the expected behavior that you want, rather than just what not to do. So I hope that helps clarify. Please let me know if you have any other questions. I think this group is working really well together. You seem to be using each other as supports as well as coming to me with questions and supports when needed. So this is a very fast-paced course, and I think everybody is handling this quite well so far. So keep up the positive attitude and let me know if you need anything else. Take care, guys.